boys and girls. This week we're going to start a brand new letter. But before we do, let's go over the letters that we've already learned. Do you remember the very first letter we learned? This letter right here. It's the letter M. M. What sound did the letter M make? Like in mouse, mop, markers. All right, and we also learned this letter, the letter T. And the letter T says t, 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 like in tiger and ticket and turtle. Then we also learned the very first letter in the alphabet, which is the letter A. And it said two things. It said a, and it also says A, like in acorn. Last week, we learned the letter that sounds like a snake. This is the letter S, and it said S, like in sun, seal, and superhero. This week's letter looks just like this. Do you know what letter it is? It's the letter D. D, and the letter D says D, 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 D. To do our hand helper, you put your thumb and pointer finger together like you're doing okay. D, 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 as in D, D, duck. Let's look at our Speech Sally and see what we need to use to make the letter D sound. First, let's try our nose. Do we need our nose to make the D sound? D, 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 D. No, we could make the sound just fine if we held our nose. Now let's look at our mouth. Is our mouth open or closed? D, 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 D. My lips are open, so let's give our Speech Sally an open mouth. Now let's pay attention to our tongue. Do we use our tongue when we make the D, 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 D sound? D, D, D. We do. We have to put our tongue on top of our mouth and move it down. D, D, D. So I'm going to give her a tongue. Last thing, let's check our motor. D, 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 D. Is our motor on? D, D, D. It is, so I'm going to put her motor right here on her neck. All right, so this week we're going to talk all about the letter D and things that make the D sound. See if you can find capital D's or lowercase d's in your home. But be very careful because a lowercase b looks very similar to the lowercase d, except the circles look different ways. A D has a circle and then a tall stick on this side. The lowercase b has a tall stick and a circle that's looking this way. So it's really hard to tell them apart, but the more you practice, the easier it will get.